The story begins with Suwa, just an ordinary teenage girl who loved to dance, but her dream was that one day she would actually be able to perform on stage. Remember this little detail about music, it will matter later. She was raised by her father, Jong-hwan, and the two of them lived a simple, peaceful life together. But that peace didn't last long. One day, a breaking news alert flashed across every TV screen. A strange virus was rapidly spreading throughout South Korea. Infected people started acting like mad animals, attacking and biting anyone they saw. The infection spread very quickly, and it was already reaching other cities. That day also happened to be Suwa's 15th birthday. Her grandmother also joined the celebration via video call. But before they could finish their cake, a terrifying noise came from outside their apartment. Suwa peeked out the window and saw their neighbors, the uncle and aunt next door, fighting loudly. At first, she thought it was just another domestic dispute. She picked up her phone to record it, but the next second, the aunt turned into a zombie. Jong-hwan immediately realized that something was very wrong. He told Suwa to hide, but it was too late. The infected woman had seen them, and she was now violently pounding on their window. The glass immediately shattered, and Jong-hwan forcefully pushed the sofa against it to keep the angry zombie from getting inside. Meanwhile, Suwa received a message from her friend. The world outside had completely fallen apart. Zombies were everywhere. Her father decided they had to find the police, but as soon as they stepped onto the street, they realized it was too late. The entire neighborhood had fallen. Even the dogs had turned into growling, infected animals. Every emergency number was jammed, no one was answering, and going to the police station was no longer an option. So Jong-hwan came up with a new plan. They would flee to Suwa's grandmother's house in the countryside. But how would they get out alive in a city full of the dead? Then Jong-hwan remembered the train to Busosin. He thought that maybe if they acted like zombies, they could fool the real zombies, and surprisingly, it worked. Father and daughter stumbled through the streets, just like the infected people walked, groaning and twitching, and somehow the crowd didn't notice a thing. See, watching zombie movies sometimes pays off, but yes, zombies aren't completely stupid. It didn't take them long to realize that something was amiss. Father and daughter ran for their lives. But in the confusion, Suwa slipped and fell. A zombie grandmother lunged straight at her, and without a moment's hesitation, Jong-hwan put himself in danger to save his daughter. But a twist came that no one expected. The old zombie woman's teeth were fake. Jong-hwan didn't waste a second. He pushed her aside, grabbed his daughter's hand, and both ran down the street. After a lot of running to save their lives, Jong-hwan finally found a car. He slammed the door shut, hit the gas, and the father and daughter barely escaped the horde of the dead. For a moment, Jong-hwan felt genuinely relieved. They had made it out alive. But then he saw Suwa's face. She was pale, trembling, and trying to hide something under her sleeve. When he gently pulled it back, his heart sank. Suwa had been bitten by a child zombie while he was looking for the car. Jong-hwan tried to keep his voice calm, tried to smile. "It's okay," he told her. "We'll get you treated. Maybe you have antibodies. Maybe you'll be fine." But before he could finish his sentence, Suwa started having convulsions. Her eyes rolled back, and when she opened them again, the little girl he knew was gone. Only a zombie was staring at him now. Jong-hwan pushed her down with all his might, forced his hat over her face, then strapped her to the seat with the car's seatbelt. But as he watched his daughter struggling and growling, something inside him broke. He just loosened his grip for a second, and Suwa's head slumped forward. She had fainted. Her heart was pounding. Jong-hwan drove all night and brought his daughter back to her grandmother's house. When the old woman saw her son at the door, she was surprised. But as soon as she heard that Suwa was sick, she pushed him aside and ran straight inside the house. It turned out Grandma was no helpless old woman. She had spunk. With a quick jerk, she knocked Suwa unconscious. When she realized what had actually happened, the old woman burst into tears. Her beloved granddaughter had turned into something inhuman. Immediately after this, the government made an announcement on TV. They had deployed military units to stop the virus. Any infected person found was to be terminated on the spot. The next morning, Jong decided to take Suwa to the hospital, hoping that there might still be a way to save her. But as soon as he stepped inside, he froze. There were soldiers right in front of his eyes, mercilessly shooting every infected person who moved. It felt like a trap. Bringing Suwa here would be like sending her to her death. And then another government broadcast came. Sheltering infected people was now considered a serious crime. Anyone who reported one would receive a 250 million won reward. Jong-hwan was staring at his daughter, trembling. If he didn't end this himself, someone else would. And even more sadly, he picked up a metal ball, ready to bring it down. But as he looked at her face, that innocent little girl whom he had raised alone, he couldn't do it. He broke down. crying, wishing he could die with her. Grandma saw her son's hesitation and made up her mind. If he couldn't do it, she would. She picked up a shovel, and at that very moment, Sua opened her eyes. Fear was visible all over her face. It seemed like she still remembered the beating from last night. Seeing this, Jong-hwan immediately rushed forward to stop his mother, but in this effort, they suddenly realized that Sua was gone. They ran out frantically to look for her and finally found the girl hidden in a small storage shed. This was the place where Sua and her deceased mother often used to go when she was little. Then Jong-hwan felt that his daughter might still have some human understanding left. To test his theory, he took out his phone and played Sua's favorite song, and right on cue, she started moving. Her body slowly swayed to the rhythm. This was no random thing. She was dancing. Tears welled up in Jong-hwan's eyes. His little girl was still in there somewhere. Meanwhile, experts on TV revealed something shocking. Some infected people could temporarily regain their memories by stimulating certain parts of the brain. With the right kind of stimulation, the effect of the virus could even be reduced. But Grandma didn't buy any of it for her. Sua wouldn't truly become human until she willingly ate Grandma's famous fried rice. Of course, Sua had no interest in fried rice, but everyone was surprised to see her suddenly start chewing on boiled pig intestines. And just then, a man walked in. It was Dong-bae, Jong-hwan's childhood friend. As soon as Dong-bae opened the door, he was stunned. Sua was standing right in front of him. Her pale skin, black veins, and lifeless eyes clearly indicated that she was a zombie. Panic-stricken, he ran out and fumbled for his phone to call the police. But before he could dial the number, Jong-hwan grabbed his hand to stop him. Distraught, Jong-hwan showed him a video on his phone in which Sua was dancing to her favorite song. He insisted that his daughter was still conscious, that she was fighting the virus inside. If they kept refreshing her memories, maybe, just maybe, the infection would fade away on its own. After a long hesitation, Dong-bae finally put his phone down. He couldn't bring himself to report his best friend's daughter. The next morning, he returned with a little hope. He told Jong-hwan that a big biotech company was working on a vaccine for the zombie virus. And listen, their old college senior worked there. Even better, the vaccine had already passed animal testing and was almost ready for human trials. Gaining courage, the two friends made a strange plan. Every morning they would take a small fishing boat to a secluded island near the sea, which was a secret training ground to help Sua regain her humanity. It was very difficult, part rehabilitation, part survival camp. Jong-hwan started with the basics, teaching her to blink like a human and to stop when he whistled whenever she felt hungry. Of course, the thing Sua was truly afraid of was not the whistle, but Grandma, who was standing right behind her with a big wooden stick. After this came the physical training. They did proper radio exercises and forced her to move her joints. Day by day, Jong-hwan carefully recorded every progress. And despite all the difficulties, Sua was slowly changing. For the first time in a long time, the little family started finding peace again. As time passed, Sua's condition really started improving. Apart from her pale skin, she was slowly becoming completely conscious. Even when someone waved a hand in front of her face or came close to her mouth, she didn't react like a zombie. Tears came to Jong-hwan's eyes. All those sleepless nights. All that hard work was finally paying off. Grandma also noticed something soon. As long as Sua's exposed veins were covered, she actually looked like a normal girl. Excited by this idea, Jong-hwan went to a nearby shop to buy makeup for her. But there, fate decided to play a cruel trick of its own. He suddenly ran into his first love, Yeonhwa. They talked for a while, and she offered to drop him home. But halfway through, Jong-hwan suddenly asked to get out. He couldn't risk anyone finding out his daughter's secret, especially her. The truth was, he still had feelings for Yeonhwa, but having raised Sua alone for so many years, he had to suppress that emotion inside. Of course, his best friend, Dong-bae, knew him very well. That same night, he organized a small get-together, a friendly dinner intended to help Jong-hwan reconnect with his old love. During their conversation, Yeonhwa found out that Sua was undergoing neurological treatment and was not attending school. Kindly, she offered to include Sua in her class as a transfer student. After all, she was a homeroom teacher and could personally keep an eye on her, but Jong-hwan immediately refused. He had heard rumors that Yeonhwa hated zombies the most. Some time ago, she had even killed her fiancé when he turned into a zombie. Seeing Sua still showing interest in the amusement park on TV, Grandma decided to make her dream come true. She carefully did the girl's makeup and everyone was surprised. When the makeup was done, Sua looked completely human. You couldn't tell the difference at all. Seeing this sight, Jong-hwan burst into tears. If Suwa felt the excitement of the theme park, the stimulation could help her brain recover even more and weaken the virus inside her. Meanwhile, his friend Dong-bae, who came dressed as Thor for the trip, gave some good news. The vaccine was almost ready for release. This meant that Suwa's full recovery was finally within reach. But before they could celebrate, trouble came. Their house caught fire. Jong-hwan emerged from the fire holding a sword. She already knew the truth. Suwa had become a zombie. Seeing the anger in Jong-hwan's eyes, Grandma got scared. She tried to make her understand her feelings, telling the heartbreaking truth of Suwa's past. As it turned out, Jong-hwan was not Suwa's real father. He was her uncle since childhood. The two were inseparable. Suwa's real father was a lazy man who only cared about money. He was always demanding cash from his wife, so Jong-hwan's sister worked day and night just to make ends meet and left Suwa in her brother's care most of the time. One day, Jong-hwan got an urgent call from work and had to return to the company. Before leaving, he called his sister, reminding her to come home quickly and take care of Suwa. But that call was the last. On her way back, Suwa's mother got into a terrible car accident and died, and her father, that useless man, took the insurance money and ran away, never to be seen again. From that day on, only Jong-hwan and Suwa were left, and the first word that came out of the little girl's mouth was Dad. From that moment, Jong-hwan vowed that he would raise Suwa as his own, no matter what. Later, when the three returned from the amusement park, they ran straight into Jong-hwan. She was standing there, sword in hand, ready to attack. Clearly, Grandma's story hadn't melted her heart, seeing her father injured. Suwa let out a wild growl and lunged straight at Jong-hwan. But before she could reach them, Jong-hwan stopped her in the nick of time. After hearing him out, Jong-hwan finally understood. She realized that Suwa was not like the others. She still had consciousness, emotions, and control, so Jong-hwan made a decision. Instead of killing them, she would help Jong-hwan bring his daughter back. As a teacher, she wanted Suwa to slowly reintegrate into society. She enrolled her in the school and even kept her in her own class so that she could keep an eye on her every day now. This class was not a place you could easily ditch, because including Suwa, there were only 4 students in total. When the others saw how quiet and expressionless she was, one of them couldn't resist teasing her. But after a hard push, Suwa's contact lens slipped out of place, and a glimpse of her disturbing eyes underneath was revealed. Luckily, none of the kids were particularly sharp, so they didn't suspect anything. And just like that, Suwa settled into school life. Everything was going in the right direction when one night, an unknown guest arrived at their house. It was Suwa's biological father, the same useless man who had abandoned her years ago. It turned out someone had videotaped Suwa at the amusement park, and her identity as a zombie had spread online. The man didn't come out of love or guilt. He came for money. He wanted to hand over Suwa for the 250 million won reward. Grandma tried to kick him out, but that savage knocked her to the ground and forcibly dragged Suwa away. When Jong-hwan heard this news, he went completely mad. He ran into the street and jumped in front of the car to stop them. With full anger in his eyes, he delivered a powerful punch to that bastard's face. Just as he was about to pull Suwa to safety, the man attacked him from behind. Jong-hwan knocked him down and started punching him violently. But then that monstrous man did something so bad, so shocking that Jong-hwan froze. Taking advantage of his hesitation, that bastard flipped him over and took control. Jong-hwan couldn't believe it. The man was even more ruthless than he thought. Seeing Jong-hwan being beaten, Suwa finally understood what was happening. In a fit of rage, she lunged at her monstrous father. The virus she carried spread quickly and immediately infected him. Jong-hwan didn't hold back anymore. He let her deal with that bastard herself. At this moment, one thing became clear to Jong-hwan. Suwa's identity had been revealed, and now there was no way they could stay in the village. After saying goodbye to Dong-bae, he planned to take Suwa to a safe place far away, but before they could leave, a large team of special forces arrived in the town. Father and daughter were trapped inside a warehouse. Seeing the soldiers ready to break in, Jong-hwan made a desperate decision. He asked Suwa to bite him, and as Suwa looked at her dying father, she slowly said, "Daddy," and then fainted herself. During this time, Suwa had a dream in which she and her uncle were happily living together on a peaceful island. Then in the blink of an eye, she woke up and everyone was relieved. She had become a normal human being. It turned out that after Jong-hwan was shot and sent to the hospital, researchers and doctors discovered virus antibodies in his body. These antibodies were actually the result of repeated exposure to the virus while training Suwa. He had been bitten countless times, which initiated a natural immune response. It seemed as if his body had slowly developed a vaccine, giving him the power to resist the infection. Grandma gave Suwa the training diary, in which she saw all the notes her father had written about her progress. Tears streamed uncontrollably down her face. In the final scene of the story, Suwa finally fulfilled her dream. Standing in the middle of the stage, dancing with all her heart, Yeonhwa also showed the video to Jong-hwan, who was lying in bed so that he could see his daughters. Victory! If you liked this video, please like it and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.